Hello, my beautiful friend. It's Betsy Gutting. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm really excited to be with you. Let's talk about the major planetary shifts of 2023. This is brand new energy. I want to say hallelujah because we are leaving. We are leaving. Pluto is changing signs. Saturn is changing signs. We're leaving this energy of the post 2020 major earthquake feeling kind of shifts. Now, I'm not saying that we're miraculously, that all of that is going to just go away miraculously. But I want to get into this and break it down for you so you can see how you can work with these changes in 2023 to advance your goals, to co-create a dream or a vision that you really want to see manifest in 2023. This is what I love about astrology, is that we can prepare for these changes rather than being afraid when we find out that a planet is changing signs and that sign may make squares or oppositions to a personal planet that we have. Rather than being freaked out by it and scared by it, we can say, how can I work with this energy? What is it? How is it trying to support me and encourage me and empower me? Because astrology is always about timing. It's about timing. It's about empowerment. And it is a map for our souls to navigate forward and claim the power that we have within to co-create the life that we choose, that we envision. Now, if you're new to me, I want to say hello. If you're not new to me, I want to say welcome back. I am Betsy Gutting. I'm an intuitive life coach as well as a psychic astrologer, and I love helping you to create a vision for your life and bring it into reality. So at the end of this video, I'm going to talk with you about my astrology consultations as well as my coaching services. What are the results you can expect to get from an astrology consultation with me? I have testimonials on my website for you to look at. All of that is linked below, and I'll tell you more about that at the end of this video. I also have a free gift for you, so stay tuned till the end of the video and I will tell you all about your free gift and how to get it. So this year we have 3 outer planets changing signs. Saturn is moving into Pisces. Pluto is moving into Aquarius. Jupiter will move into Taurus. And the nodes of the moon will change signs as well. Whenever we have these big outer planets change signs, we feel it. It creates big changes collectively. And we feel it even more personally and intensely if the changes are affecting any planets or points in our natal astrology chart. So in this video, I'm going to talk with you about which planets are changing signs, what the energy is like of the new signs, how can we work with it, and who will be most affected in 2023 by these shifts. So today is January 20th, the day that I am filming this video. It's one day before the Aquarius new moon, the turning point visionary Aquarius new moon that is jump-starting a new chapter for all of us. This is a powerful new moon. It is conjunct Pluto, and I have a separate video for you on it. Maybe you could feel my energy coming through. It is very strong energy. It's conjunct Pluto. We always feel new moons where Pluto is a power player. So I have a separate video for you on that with readings for all 12 signs that I encourage you to watch. But what I love about the energy that we're in right now, if you're watching this video as it is coming out, and a shout out to all of my Sunday chat people. I love connecting with you in the chat, and a shout out to all of you who are watching this at a different time. I love connecting with you as well. Leave me a comment. Let me know where you're tuning in from if you'd like to share. What I love about the energy right now is that Mars in Gemini has just gone direct, and Mars has been in Gemini for months, and it's going to continue to be in Gemini until through March. So that is big energy to be direct now. We have Mercury that has just gone direct. Can I get an amen? Hallelujah. And Uranus will go direct one day after the new moon in Aquarius. So all planets will be direct, and that is relatively rare to have all planets direct. This is forward momentum for all of us. So I hope that you're feeling this. In this video, I want to focus on 2 major planetary shifts: Saturn moving into Pisces and Pluto moving into Aquarius. I'm going to let you know who's going to feel these shifts most personally in 2023. And I'll be pulling an oracle card for all of us so we can all get a collective reading on what we can expect in 2023 with these big shifts. Now, Saturn will be going into Pisces March 8th. It will cover the degrees of 0 to 7, 0 to 7 degrees between March and July. Then it will retrograde back and retrace its steps over those degrees. And then in December, it'll get to about 3 degrees of Pisces. So who will this affect most personally in 2023? Those of you who have planets or points in Pisces or the other mutable signs of Gemini, Virgo, or Sagittarius between 0 and I'm going to say 8 degrees, 0 to 8 degrees, you will feel this movement of Saturn into Pisces most personally, most intensely. But we're all going to feel this because the energy of Saturn and Pisces is very different from the energy of Saturn and Aquarius, where Saturn has been for the past about 2.5 years. I want to tell you about this energy of Saturn and Pisces, but first let's look at Saturn. What is Saturn's function? How is it supporting us? You know, it's funny because so many people think of Saturn as a malefic planet, like Saturn is something to be afraid of. Saturn is doom and gloom. Well, sometimes we feel Saturn that way. Sometimes we do feel Saturn as limiting us, as restricting us, as a killjoy. We absolutely can feel Saturn that way. I would call that the shadow side of Saturn energy. The light side of Saturn energy is that it is supporting us to create a solid, sustainable foundation. So wherever you have 0 to 7 degrees of Pisces in your natal astrology chart is where you're going to be building a solid, sustainable foundation, that particular area of your life. And if you're not sure where that is for you, where to find that in your chart, you can book an astrology consultation with me and I can tell you which area of life it's happening for you. I will also be doing a separate video as we get closer to Saturn and Pisces, where I'll be doing readings for all 12 signs. Now, what is Saturn's job? Job is the perfect word to use for Saturn because Saturn is all about effort, work, hard work usually. It's where we put our focus. Saturn is like a benevolent father who says, I think this would be really good for you, but I'm not so sure that this would be good for you. Let's sit down and talk about your strengths and your gifts and your talents and how you can catalyze those, how you can make the most of what you're doing, and what kind of foundation do you need? This is Saturn's energy. Saturn wants us to be discerning. Saturn doesn't want us to settle. Saturn thinks long term, a structure that will support us. Saturn wants us to be in our integrity. So we can't make trade-offs in Saturn energy. Sometimes in Saturn energy, we can get what we call a reality check, where we feel like we've gotten a wake-up call, something's unexpected. We could get a no. Someone could say, no, I know you wanted this, but you know, the doors are closing. You can't have this. That literally where we feel like the path is closed. That's very difficult. But if that happens, it means you're being redirected, my friend. You're being redirected to a different path, or maybe there's another option that you haven't seen yet. Before we talk about Saturn and Pisces, I want to step back for a moment and look at Saturn and Aquarius because we want to see where we've been in order to see where we are going. Saturn in Aquarius energy is very different from Saturn and Pisces. Saturn in Aquarius has been disruptive, it's been uncertain, partly because we've had the Saturn-Uranus square. It disrupted our financial markets, it caused a course correction in the stock market, we've had big weather changes and difficulties with, a lot of you I know have dealt with earthquakes and hurricanes and really, really difficult situations. A lot of us have had to make course corrections with Saturn in Aquarius. I'll give you an example of a course correction that I was forced to do. Saturn has been in my 8th house. 8th house rules investments. I had most of my investments in the stock market. So I've had a major downturn in my retirement. And not that I'm retired, clearly I am not retired, but I was really counting on that for my future retirement. That caused quite a bit of disappointment for me, as I'm sure we've all experienced disappointment in one area, at least one area of our lives, with Saturn in Aquarius squaring Uranus. Now Saturn is in my 9th house, my 9th house of beliefs, of adventure, of long distance travel. And I have done long distance travel to move to Mexico. I have made a move to Mexico. So now I'm creating a whole new foundation for myself in another country, which is very ninth house. So Saturn and Pisces, what's Piscean energy like in Saturn? Well, first of all, Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. It represents endings. So many of us are going to be ending something. That doesn't mean it has to be something important to you that is a job or a relationship or a project that is near and dear to your heart. It could simply be a thought pattern. It could be the way you're thinking about your ability, your competence, your confidence. Pisces rules the subconscious mind. Pisces is often what we're thinking about, but we don't realize we're thinking about it because it's underneath the surface. It can be very murky waters. It is the unconscious mind. In Pisces energy, things can be hidden, and Pisces is ruled by Neptune. Neptune dissolves things, not things that are meant for you to keep going with, just things that are meant to go away. So anything that isn't rooted in a strong foundation may be tested during this time. Saturn makes tests. Saturn wants us to be sure that we have this solid, sustainable foundation. Pisces is a highly sensitive, deep water sign. We see it as the ocean, the mermaid, the merman. This is where we dive deep down into the water and we open up to a treasure of discovery, often an internal discovery. Pisces also rules guided meditation, hypnotherapy, the deep, deep processes that we do to get to know ourselves better. Pisces is the dreamer. It's the ethereal world. It's the mystic in all of us. It's our connection to the divine. It is oneness. It's compassion, compassion for others and compassion for self. So this can be a very internal energy. So I feel during Saturn and Pisces, a lot of us are going to be doing internal work, possibly inner child work. We're going to be clearing out those murky waters and making them more clear so we can see ourselves with new eyes, see ourselves with clear eyes. As the empowered, competent, confident, I can do it people that we really are. The shadow side of Pisces is where we're not looking at something with real eyes, with clear eyes. It's where we're wearing rose-colored glasses and we might be projecting onto something else, either positively or negatively. And at some point, the rug gets pulled out, the lights come on, and we see the truth. We see the truth of the person, the truth of the relationship, the truth of the job or the boss or whatever it is, the project. And that can be very deflating. That can be disillusioning. That can be disappointing. But Saturn wants us to see the truth. Saturn wants us to see things as they really are so that we can make headway. We can go forward again so that we can have this solid, sustainable foundation underneath us. You may have had a relationship at some point, my friend. I know this is true for so many of us who are empaths, highly sensitive people. We see the best in other people, and we always see people's potential. It's very easy for us, especially for those of you who are highly intuitive. You see the best in others. You see the possibility, the potential. However, many of us highly sensitive people, empathic people, have been in situations where we have projected sort of the ideal onto another person when they haven't been anywhere close to being able to act out this ideal, to actually realize this ideal. And it's very disappointing. It's like you realize you were living in a fantasy. You realize you were expecting this other person to be someone that they actually are not. But when you look back at that relationship, look back at that person, look back at that job where you had the rug pulled out, where you were projecting something unreal onto it, aren't you glad that happened now that it's over? Aren't you glad that you saw the truth and you are no longer living in a fantasy world? This is Saturn and Pisces. It can be momentarily difficult. It can be momentarily disillusioning and disappointing, but ultimately we are made stronger. We are made more clear. Saturn wants us to have our feet on the ground. Dream, yes. Pisces is the dreamer. Dream our hearts away, but Then build it and they will come. Put it into reality, give it legs, give it roots, make it real. So how can we best work with this energy? First of all, we want to make sure that every aspect of us is on board and being utilized during this dreaming, make it real process. Our mind, our heart, our spirit, they're all aligned and they're all giving a big yes to whatever it is, whether it's a project, a relationship, a person, or a situation. Second of all, we want real world support, physical support. We want to do it in community. We don't want to do it alone. We want to get advice when it's needed, get new perspectives from others when it's needed, and not just hole away, hide away as we can do in Pisces energy and kind of hope for the best. This is not a hope for the best energy. This is not a stay on your couch and meditate all day energy. This is a get out into the real world and see if something is attainable. A few tips for working with this energy. Pisces rules the immune system, so we want to pay close attention to our health during this transit and make sure we're doing everything we can do for good immune support. Make sure that we're getting good nutrition, we're breathing clean air, we are drinking good quality clean water. Water is, Pisces energy. And so because we know our bodies are almost all water, we want to be sure that we are flushing out our systems of toxins. So lymphatic massage is really good for that. Yoga, dancing, lots of good movement, swimming. These are all really good things to move any toxins out of our system. A lot of us are going to be doing healing work during this time. Past lives can come up during a Pisces transit. A really good way to use Saturn and Pisces is to do any inner work on past life trauma, to engage a counselor or a coach like myself to help you move through anything that feels deep, dark, down below in those murky waters that you want to shift or clear out of your system. This is definitely a detoxifying kind of energy. So guided meditation, hypnotherapy, any other body-based tools will be really good for this Saturn and Pisces transit for our healing. Don't sacrifice for others, my friends. I don't like giving don'ts. I don't want to sound like I'm preaching, but Pisces energy can be very self-sacrificial. And in Pisces energy, we're like sponges, we absorb and we don't even know. So it's really helpful to ask when you're not feeling good, is this my energy or is it someone else's? Especially if you just felt you woke up feeling good and then all of a sudden you're like, why do I feel so down now? Or why does my body feel drained of energy? We can really feel drained in a Saturn and Pisces transit if we're not regularly doing psychic hygiene and making sure that we're cutting cords to the energy of other people that we are around, we're working with, or we are playing with on a daily basis. Pisces also rules the entertainment world. So we may notice some new developments in the entertainment world, some limitations, some restrictions, some new government regulations. It's definitely going to shift the entertainment world, no question. And it rules creative expression and the arts. So a beautiful way to use this energy is to do more artistic expression, more journaling, more movement, more playing with color, anything that is artistic for you. You do not have to be quote unquote creative. We're all naturally creative, whether we're aware of it or not. But any kind of art for healing, any kind of process art would be really, really helpful during this Saturn and Pisces transit. A regular daily spiritual practice. A daily spiritual practice. Saturn wants us to do the work, remember, wants us to put in the effort, to show up day in and day out. So spiritual practice is perfect for this transit and will really help us to move forward. Okay, so let's talk about Pluto in Aquarius. My friend, this is a major, major shift. 2020, the collapse of the world as we knew it was precipitated by Pluto moving into Capricorn. Pluto in Capricorn and then Pluto making a conjunction with Saturn changed the world. It changed the world as we knew it. Now we are moving into a whole new energy, and this is definitely something to celebrate. I'm very excited about this. However, I have to say that Pluto's only moving into Aquarius for 3 months in 2023, just 3 months. So it will then retrograde back into Capricorn and not go into Aquarius fully for good until November of 2024, but we will get 3 months of this. So we want to take full advantage of these 3 months of Pluto in Aquarius. So I want to tell you about this energy. Now, what are those 3 months? March 24th to June 11th, Pluto will be at 0 degrees of Aquarius, 0 degrees. It will then retrograde back into Capricorn and be there in the high degrees. It will retrograde from 29 to 27 degrees. And it will be there also for part of 2024. So let's take full advantage of Pluto in Aquarius. And how do we do this? And Pluto's going to be in Aquarius for 21 years. 21 years. It's a very slow moving planet. It's a heavy hitter. It really affects us, especially if we have planets or points that are being touched by this transit. And so it moves very, very slowly because otherwise we wouldn't be able to humanly integrate the changes that Pluto can bring about. So who will be most affected by this transit of Pluto in Aquarius? Those of you who have planets or points between 0 and 2 degrees, 0 and 2 degrees of Aquarius or the other fixed signs of Leo, Scorpio, or Taurus will be most affected by this 3-month transit of Pluto in Aquarius. Of course, Pluto will go up in degrees as we get into 2024, 2025, and so on. But this year, 2023, those of you who have planets or points in the fixed signs between 0 and 2 degrees will feel this the most personally, the most intensely. What does Pluto do? What are its functions? In the big picture, Pluto wants to detoxify our lives. It wants to detoxify anything that is holding us back. But here's the thing with Pluto. We often don't know what's holding us back. It's very unconscious. It is a deep, deep, deep down whatever it is that needs to be detoxified. We are often not aware of it. And that is why Pluto energy can sometimes be so, we can say that's really hard, that was really difficult, because we weren't aware that there was something that we needed to detoxify. Pluto is all about power. It's all about power, either feeling powerful, passionate, and powerful, or feeling powerless. So what Pluto's function is it wants us to give us back our power, for us to take back our power, for us to live full out, for us to feel passionate about life. If you have planets or points in the fixed signs between 0 and 2 degrees, you may go through a death and rebirth process. This is where we are transformed from the inside out. It may sound very hard and difficult and something you don't want to do, but I can tell you from experience, you will come out of it as a brand new person, more confident, more courageous. You will be living in a brand new skin and you will be grateful for whatever happened to you. But I know when it's happening, it's not always easy. I have a video for you on hard Pluto transits. I did it based on the Pluto and Capricorn transit. And those of you who have planets or points now in the high degrees of Capricorn, or you just want to reflect on your whole experience of Pluto and Capricorn, if you had something very difficult happen to you between 2008 and 2023, and you want to go back and kind of analyze and dissect and put it in the past and let it go, you might want to watch that video. Anyone who has planets or points in the cardinal signs of Capricorn, Cancer, Aries, or Libra went through some Pluto transit that you would remember. It would be a transit to remember. You went through that somewhere between 2008 and 2023. So you may in particular want to go back and watch that video. As an example, I have my moon in Cancer and I have Cancer rising. So I went through a dark night of the soul when Pluto opposed my Cancer moon. It opposed my Cancer moon. Oppositions can be some of the hardest transits. And I went through a dark night of the soul, all kinds of things I talk about in the video. I share my story in the video just to help empower you and to let you know you're not alone. But I came out of that transit feeling like a whole new person. While it was happening, I felt like I was dying. I'm not kidding you. I was like, am I ever going to be able to feel good again? Am I ever going to get my energy back? Am I ever going to be motivated to do something new? And yes, that will happen for you. If you are going through a difficult Pluto transit, when Pluto goes into Aquarius, you will also come out a whole new person. I would never have moved to Mexico like I did recently if I hadn't been transformed by my Pluto opposition moon transit. So there's definitely light at the end of the tunnel, my friend. Now, Pluto in Capricorn was all about the status quo. It was about keeping things the same. Funny because our world changed so dramatically, right? Nothing stayed the same. But there was a lot of resistance to that, a lot of control, a lot of government control, the lockdowns, the restrictions. That was the government trying to hold on to things and not let the dismantling that Pluto wanted to do, not let it happen. But it happened anyway. It happened anyway. How many people now are able to work at home when they weren't before? How many people have more flexible schedules? How many people left their jobs and went on to new careers? So many people made changes during 2020 because they had new values. They were transformed. They realized that they valued something else, and they have new post 2020 values now. And now, with Pluto moving into Aquarius, we get to act on those new values. We get to begin to envision a whole new life for ourselves. So Pluto and Aquarius energy is very different from Pluto and Capricorn. Pluto and Capricorn, status quo, keep things the same. Top down, hierarchy. It's the boss, it's the CEO, it's the executive board. It's someone else making a decision for you. They decide with Pluto and Capricorn. That's the energy we're leaving. The energy we're going into, I decide. Freedom, liberation. Everybody gets a voice. Everyone has a vote. This is equality energy. It's humanitarian values. It's the voice of humanity that we're going into with Pluto and Aquarius. Very, very different energy. This wants to free you, my friend. It wants to liberate you. It wants to help you create a vision. It's a visionary energy. So this is a very exciting shift that all of us are moving into. Pluto in Aquarius is the great awakener. This is what Aquarius energy is. It's ruled by Uranus, and Uranus wants us to think outside the box, wants us to innovate, wants us to be inventive. It rules technology. There will absolutely be new technology advances over the next 22 years, no question about it. The world will change. It will not look anything like it does now. It will change drastically, but what we need to hold on to, what I hope we'll hold on to, is the love, the unconditional love of humanitarian values. Because if we allow robots to rule the world, for example, if we go to the dark side of AI, then we are leaving humanitarian values behind, and we're going into the territory, the very dark territory of exploitation and letting the intellectual mind rule, which is the shadow side of Aquarius energy. So all of you watching to this, I'm preaching to the choir. We are about humanitarian values, right? We want to see the world be guided by love, by the love, the unconditional loving force that exists within all of us. Pluto in Aquarius supports us to find our tribe and work within our tribe, to not do it alone, to not feel like we're out there swimming in the middle of the ocean, Saturn and Pisces. That's the dark side of Pisces. I'm all by myself. There's no one to help me. No one understands me. Instead, we are now advancing forward, and we are regaining trust in being able to work in a group. Group collaboration is a beautiful way to use this Pluto and Aquarius energy. And if you're used to doing things alone, but you're tired of doing things alone, then maybe you start with one person, one partner. Maybe you hire a coach or an astrologer to help support you if you're not ready to work within a bigger group yet. But this is also the energy of joining communities. It's joining a cause. It's being more social. It's just beginning to get other people's perspectives, letting other people weigh in on your project, so you don't feel like you have to come up with everything yourself. Remember, we only have Pluto and Aquarius in 2023 for 3 months, so we want to make the most of this. Anything is possible. This is the time to have this mindset. Anything is possible. I'm open. Stay open. We can get rigid with Aquarius energy. So we don't want to be rigid. We want to stay open. We want to remember that the universe has our back, and we want to take a bird's eye view of our life and really fly above things. And the power of Aquarius is that it can be emotionally detached when we need to be emotionally detached, when we need to get kind of a bigger picture view of our situation in our lives. We can detach just enough that it can allow in new solutions that we weren't seeing before that. So journaling prompts, a couple of journaling prompts that might be helpful for you with this Pluto and Aquarius energy. If I couldn't fail, I would. If I couldn't possibly fail, I would. You fill in the blank. To be free, open, and ready, I need. In order to feel free, open, and ready and available to what's next, I need you fill in the blank. I have a book called The Magic of Saying Yes. It's a workbook. It helps you to partner with the divine, to partner with your soul. And I have a lot of exercises and meditations and other helpful tools for you in that book. So that's something you might want to check out. I have linked to that below for you. Now, Jupiter is also changing signs this year. Jupiter in May will be moving into Taurus. The nodes of the moon, the south node and the north node, will be moving into Aries and Libra. So I'm going to do separate videos on those movements, and I want to pull a card. Let's pull one card for all of us for these planetary movements in 2023. Saturn moving into Pisces and Pluto moving into Aquarius. Let's see what the cards have to say for all of us. And the card is success. Oh my gosh, I love this so much. I love this so much because right before I did this video for you, I pulled a card asking the same question and the same card just came up, my friend. What confirmation is that? Success. We are all being gifted with success during these new transits. This is about our success. And you see this beautiful black cat that is very fierce in this tropical jungle. There's a full moon in the background. I feel like this is saying, stand your ground, know your fierceness, know your truth, know your gifts, know your competence. Don't let anything get in the way of your success. You have everything you need. Look at these eyes. Look at these rich colors. There's a lushness to this. There's such a beauty to this card. Success is ours if we just stand our ground, stay true to ourselves, and pull up the fierceness that is deep, deep within our souls to go forward. We can do it. Okay, my beautiful friend. Thank you so much for your time, for your energy, for being here with me. I want to thank you so much for connecting. I love your comments. I so appreciate your likes, your thumbs up on this video. Thank you for supporting my channel. Thank you for subscribing, because when you subscribe, you win. You get to be notified as soon as my new videos are uploaded. Tap the notification bell so you're sure to get notified when I upload again, and your subscribes also really support my channel. So thank you so much for that. And for those of you who've asked me if you could donate, yes, I have a PayPal link below in the description box below. If you want to buy me a Mexican mocha, it's my favorite. It's my favorite coffee drink here in Puerto Vallarta, and I would so appreciate that support. If you would like a personal astrology consultation, we can do a personal consultation natal chart reading for you. We can do a heart's desire reading or a life purpose reading. For all readings, we go over the current transits, how they're affecting your life, how you can best use them to empower yourself. We go over the future transits, the transits of 2023, looking at your personal chart, a blueprint of your soul, the snapshot of the moment that you took your first breath. So if you would like to know more about that, if you would like to look at my testimonials, the results other people have gotten from their astrology readings, go to my website, to my astrology page. It's linked below, and check it out and see if you feel called to do that. I also offer soul alchemy coaching for those of you who are ready for a transformation, ready for support, tired of doing it alone, wanting to have a believing mirror, a creative champion to support you. And we could also do a one-off coaching session if you want clarity on something very specific. So go to my website, check out my services, and I have a free gift for you. And that free gift is a guided meditation, returning home to yourself, returning home to your spirit. Just go to my website, sign up for my inspirational updates, and you will get an instant download of that guided meditation. And until my next video, my friend, I'm sending you all my love.